Peace to the family. What's going on, y'all? 747 24/7 361 degrees. I love y'all. Let me check in real quick. All right, I'm back in New York. I made it back. I got to spend some time with the family. I got to enjoy myself for what it's worth. And you know, it's always a blessing to be with the family. It's always a blessing to kick it. You already know. All right, peace to you if you coming in. Excuse me. Peace to everybody coming in. What's up? Let me do a little bit of invites. Let's get it popping. All right, so I have to do a presentation on the chronology of numbers. All right. I'm going to be doing that pretty soon. Peace to everybody. State your name. Put it in the comment section. I don't know who's in here, but I'm going to be doing a presentation on the chronology of numbers pretty soon. All right. And when I do my presentation on the chronology of numbers, I'm going to break down more or less how the road stops here or the road begins here. All right. In essence, to the numbers. All right. Every higher power or anchor or what I consider how people anchor this higher force, it has an association with numbers. Peace to everybody coming in the building. I have now made it back to New York. I'm back in New York, y'all. What's going on? Peace to Harlem. You already know. All right, so let me break down the chronology of numbers. Okay, I'm about to do a PowerPoint presentation on Sodnetter TV, Black News 102 next week. All right. I don't know if y'all follow the man, follow the brother, but I got an appointment to do a PowerPoint presentation on the chronology of numbers. All right. So you might ask me, well, why is this important to me, Lamel? I don't care. I'm about to go down Facebook and go like something else. Well, go ahead and like something else. That's cool. I probably don't like you, but I'm going to tell you on the reels, what it has to do with is your life, because everybody is an association of numbers. Everybody's programmed, everybody logged in space and time through an association with numbers. Every prophet, every even God you want to consider to be God is associated with numbers. Now that's what God that universal power has given us, numbers. You say, really? Yeah, think about it. If you have no Bible, you have no Quran, you have no cards in a deck to pull, right? You have no Bible, no Quran, no anything else that you want to pick up. Only thing you really have is numbers and letters. Now you might say, really? Letters and numbers? Yeah. Only thing you have is letters and numbers. Now, the numbers are more or less on your hands because you got, and on your toes. If you think about it, you got 10 fingers, 10 toes. And then these are more or less command keys to open up gateways to a higher dimension. Do your 10 fingers and your 10 toes. Why would you say that? Because more or less you only got 120. Yeah, I got 122. And if we link up, we got 20/20 vision. So that's supreme math. That's just an example. That's just an example of universal thought dealing with mathematics in general. So, like I said, you might not have no fly book. You might not have anything. Only thing you can deal with is something that's measurable, observable, and something that's repeatable, which are the numbers. Am I right or wrong? That's the only thing you truly have. So you deal with something that's measurable, observable, and repeatable. All right? So as you're dealing with these numbers, now, like I told y'all, everybody here should have a diary or a journal, you want to call it. You should have a journal. You should have a living journal, and you should have a dream journal. Now you say, really, why is that? Because if you was observing your own cycles, you'll probably know how to operate or navigate from the body of the Messiah. All right, which is a frequency of universal thought that's transmitting to those that are leaders or saviors of particular groups or causes. All right? So, yeah, it's important because you should know the gospel according to Yamoja or Queen Rashu or Sister Williams or, you know, anybody else that's in here that want to talk about something. I'm going to do a little bit more invites. Shout out to Facebook. Always shutting me down. It's all good. You know, I got over 700,000 views on Facebook organically from on my phone. All right, and they have shut me down. They have suspended my account. You know, time and time again. They have did many things more or less to stop my message on here. All right, or suppress my thoughts. You know, so I'm going to just share this a little bit more. And I'm going to talk about a couple more things in reference to the mainframe consciousness. All right? You know, I'm not an argumentative person about the past. Let's say if you might want to deal with a problem that's in antiquity about, let's say the Egyptians, or you might say the Hebrews got their stuff from the Egyptians, or everybody got their stuff from the Egyptians. I'm really not an argumentative person when it comes to history and antiquity. I'm not. I really don't deal with that science. Okay, I just let them argue. I let them argue with it out. I let them duke it out, more or less. All right, the reason why I say that, because I know where I stand at. I move from the dot. I operate from the dot. I navigate from the dot. That's the first position within the codex. Is the dot. You might say, well, what's the dot, Lamel? I'm going to tell you, the dot is the thoughts, but the dot is a starting point or a designation of thought where everything begins. Where everything begins. That's where I start from. And not only that, and everything revolves, but also something with the dot is that you can see things up, down, left, right. You can see it in any direction that they give you. All right, shout out to Elder David in the building. Peace, King. Thank you for supporting for a long time. Shout out to Sister Shelly in the building. Nothing is above this shell. Bahamas in the building. Shout out to also Thailand. Shout out to Morocco and also Algeria. Thank you for your support over there. All right, I really support y'all. And I really thank y'all for supporting the Messiah Code. All right. Also in Vietnam and Indonesia, they're supporting us too. Thank you. All right. So let me tell you something that's universal here. What's universal is numbers. It's the primes. All right. So somebody might say, well, what's the primes, Lamel? What does that have to do with any type of thing that I'm living today because I got bills to pay? Leave me alone. All right. I'm going to tell you, everything, even when they program contracts of suppression, is by numbers. They program these contracts. It's ways to get out of these suppressional contracts, or these what do you call adhesive contracts, or something like that. It's ways to get out of these contracts, but it's all still in the numbers. I'm telling you. Like, for instance, I'll give you one number, for instance, that'll blow y'all. I always talk about 131. And I say that's the cornerstone. That's the 13, the 31. That's the frontwards and the backwards of the 13 and the 31. These are synonymous numbers. All right. So a lot of y'all don't play the lottery. I don't know. I don't really, I'm going to tell y'all can play the lottery if y'all want, because that's cool, because this is an ancient art of our ancestors. It's to play with the numbers like that. You already know. grandmama sent you to the store, played that number 50-50 box or something like that, player numbers. So, you know, numbers is an art that we always used to play just to figure out the universe, just trying to figure out the universe. All right. So yeah, when you look at you know, certain things like how reality is literally programmed is through the primes. Now, primes represent uniqueness. Everybody here is unique in their own way. Everybody here is unique. You represent an essential element of the primes. All right. Now, the 4 primes, y'all already know, is neutral prime, which is 0. 0 or anything divisible by 2 is neutral prime. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, so forth. Neutral primes. All right. Then you got your lunar prime. That's your 1 and your 9. All right. This your mystery system, the lunar primes. All right. Which comes before solar prime. All right. Then you got solar prime that comes after lunar prime. Okay. Which is 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, 27, 29, 31, and so forth. These are your solar primes, your first 11 solar primes. All right. So those are idealistic ones, those that are creative in thought, not the organizers. Those are more or less the neutral primes and also the lunar primes. All right. Who guard the mystery and also the secrets. They don't guard they don't guard the creativity of it, but they guard the secrets of things. The creativity of secrets, or the secret matters, which are the lunar primes. All right. Then you got the vector primes, who are your smart ones, your geniuses, more or less, that can assemble all thought, that can assimilate all thought and bring it back to a neutral situation, that can take all the puzzle and bring it together. That's your vector prime. Because vectors point in a certain direction. You know, vectors, they have an arrow pointing in a certain direction, moving in a designation, but that designation is always within. So that's what I want y'all to know about the vectors. Far as the vectors is 3, 6, 9. So you say, really? I thought 9 was a lunar prime. Yeah, 9 is a lunar prime. You say, really? I thought 6 was a neutral prime. Yeah, 6 is a neutral prime too. 6 and 9. You get it? They have different designated paths, more or less, that play the same role as when they flip. But 9 could be a lunar prime. All right? As well as 6 can be a neutral prime. Okay, it goes back to a neutral prime. Depends on how it gravitates toward. All right, but it more or less, it's all in your nature when it comes to this, because in a new age of information, everybody has a heroic quality. A heroic quality. You might say that represents you know, y'all all know y'all zodiac signs by now, probably. All right, so now, since y'all know y'all zodiac signs and y'all know y'all designation within the 12, y'all already graduated 12th grade. Now y'all come into the 13th grade, which is y'all starting all over, which is 1 o'clock. Yeah, the 13th hour. So that's a 131 moment. All right. So since y'all graduated from 12th grade, which is the era of Pisces, because we just came out of Pisces, yeah, into the age of Aquarius, which is 13, which is what? The third air sign, or the yeah, the 11th house. So that's another 131 moment right there. Because if we coming into Aquarius, that's, you know, like I just said, the third air sign and the 11th house. So now we really cooking. We really cooking here, because that's another 131 moment. All right. So within this age of information, what Aquarius is bringing forth, or I wouldn't call it Aquarius, is really noon, because the sun is setting. The sun is setting to a darkness. The sun is setting into darkness, meaning that you would say, oh man, it's darkness. No, it's a sun cycle. No, it's a cycle of darkness, because that's when the sun burns that ass and it looks dark. You say, really? Yeah, when the sun burns that ass so much, the light of the sun burns and it shines so much, it becomes darkness. So that's why you need the owl in this type of situation, because I told you, I said that light is so bright. It's so bright that it'll literally blind you. the way you see God, you really think God's perception of how God's light is really perceivable in a way you see reality in a certain sort of way, and it's really not, because they'll blind you every time you step up to the plate. So you really try to think your arms are long enough to box with God, because you are God in a certain sort of way. But every time you step to that light, you get TK'd every damn time, because that light is so damn bright that it just blinds the perception. You say, God, you great. That's all you got to say. God, you great. Or however you say, Allahu Akbar, or something good like that. You know what I mean? You can say something good, however you say it. You can give reference to any higher power that you give reference to. But I'm telling you, it goes back to the owl, because the owl is our totem. It's the totem that sees in the darkness, and it has clarity in darkness. So you in dark times right now. Yeah, we all going through dark times. You say, really? Yeah, troubled moments, tribulation, or disparity. But you don't got to worry about that, because our totem is the owl. And the owl, you have been given the owl in dark times. You say, really, Lamel? Why would the elders give us an owl in dark times? So your ass can be able to see through the darkness, even if you don't have a candle lit. So you're able to light the candle within yourself, and you're able to see through that dark time, that time of more or less disparity. And then I tell people another thing, what really darkness really represents, when they talk about it in a negative sense, it represents obscurity. It doesn't really represent darkness the way you think. It represents darkness. It represents obscurity. So they say, really? Yeah, it's not darkness. Now, another thing that I tell people, that when they give reference to darkness in a negative content, is when they talk about bacteria or something that you can't see. But, you know, and this is not even far as we ain't even going to do the thing, because you know what the yin and the yang is. It's equal value, all right, in the realms of what creation is all about. Because, like I said, a light can be so bright that it pierces darkness in your eyes. All right. So yeah, but yeah, the bacteria is that form of darkness, because you got to see it. You got to, under a microscope, you got to really take time to see that. You really got to see, you got to put it under a microscope, and it's an element that you can't really see like that in this world. And then even the underworld was called darkness in some sort of way, like how Osiris is associated with the underworld. And that's why I said, man, I'm gonna kill him with this. Yo, when I do my presentation on the chronology of numbers, I'm really gonna kill him with this, because, you know, I think about it like this. I said, man, if I look at the universe is really projecting a signal, y'all. And then we all really accept the signal, or incept the signal how we want to do it. And then when it comes down, and then we start moving, we start doing different things, we start assimilating what the signal is talking about. Think about it like this. For instance, like, let's say if you go into different cultures, right, you find Osiris in a culture, you say, really? Damn, really, the Egyptians went all over the planet like that? Not essentially yeah, and not essentially, or essentially yes, and essentially no. I'm going to tell you why. Because some cultures wasn't really created from, I'm going to say that, the ancient Egyptians. This is the reason why. And I'm going to say from Kemet or Tamari. This is the reason why, because traditionally it's other festivals that are created with festivals that ain't even in certain parts of Africa. For instance, like if you have a winter or harvest season in certain sort of way in winter months, and you preparing for a certain cold, or it's different than a place that has, you know, something that's growing all the time. So it's different traditions, depends on where you are on the planet. So I want you to take in consideration of that. So let's say if you want the top side of the planet, you want the equator, you want this part of the planet where you getting 4 seasons, you getting 2 seasons, you get 1 season, or whatever. It's different type of festivals that's in connection with how that sun or what you consider to be the rays or the light manifests here on this planet. So I just want y'all to think about it like that. So as that seed or that light was planted in this planet, it resonated in our minds, and we started more or less enacting what the universe wanted us to do, because everybody here has a purpose. All right. So now I go back to the numbers. I go back to the numbers on this. And for instance, because I say, yo, when you go let's say if you go into, let's say if I say any of y'all higher power, right? Y'all say, one of your higher power or something that's connected, associated with any force that anybody on here. This is a universal thought here. I don't care what you represent as a God. All right. But as we're coming on this route or this route, we dealing with the codex. All right. Because codex is the trunk of the tree and what remains is the root. All right. Because that's what codex is, the trunk of the tree. So now as you see the root, that's the root remains that leave us grounded here in this situation. If you think of the numbers are associated with anything when it comes to reality, even programmed into creation when it comes to atoms, when it comes to elements, you know, and so forth. They're programmed through numbers, protons, neutrons, electrons. They're programmed through numbers, how many protons, neutrons, electrons associated with the element. So you're more or less associated that same sort of way. Think about it, right? If you have, they said it in the Quran, how every hair on your head is numbered. Every hair on your head is numbered. Every element in your body is associated with a number. Think about this, right? Certain numbers associated, like they make harmony, like a G and an E. Like G and E, they're synonymous. They're synonymous in harmony. All right, like far as dealing with music, G and E. You say, really? Why? That's G is the seventh and E is the fifth. All right, so you think about it like that. So dang, G and E, they're synonymous, they're in harmony. You can utilize those numbers 7 and 5 to create harmony, which is the number 13 again. So I want y'all to think about certain things when it comes to music, when it comes to numbers, and then you'll see, as I know, that all these numbers, when it comes to far as they have a numerical value and with harmony. You ever be around somebody and you be like, man, dang, man, I'm just not really feeling that person right now. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because really, you're vibrating. You might be vibrating on a certain octave or a certain tone, and then they're just out of key with you. They're just out of key, and no matter what, you try to really kick it with that person, really link up, and you can't link up. Because you're not vibrating on the same frequency. So, I'm going to tell you a way to start over. All right, when you ever feeling that way about a person and you got real negative vibes with a person, I'm going to tell y'all a way to do this. All right, a way to do this real simple. You might say, man, I'm crazy for this. All right, you pick a universal word that both of y'all share, that both of y'all like. You say, man, really, what's the favorite word that you like? And I'm going to think about a favorite word that I like. And let's agree upon a favorite word that we like. And then once you say, let's say, okay, let's say, patience. Yeah, patience. Let's say patience is a beautiful word that person likes of you. That you can't even vibe with that person, right? You're like, man, I can't vibe. Something's off with this person. I'm telling you, it's because the tones is off. It's like a musical key. You ever hit it on the piano and be like, man, yo, stop playing that piano. It's off key. It's off key. What you doing is off key. That's what's happening with the people that are next to you. So I'm going to show you a different a way to get in tone with that person that's next to you. All right. So this is one way to do it. So you pick a universal word that you like. All right. Let's say patience is one of that word that you like. Now, for me, I'm going to say like this. All right, patience is a universal word that I like. So I'm going to pick I'm going to utilize that to connect with the higher power. I'm going to say, well, look, one of the words that they use for patience as in connecting to the higher power is sabor. All right. So now somebody, I ask that person, I say, well, look, let's try this together. Let's keep on saying this until we sound almost alike. All right. And then you might say patience, 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 oh, patience, 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 patience. You can't sing. I don't care. You can't sing. They can't sing. Patience, oh, patience, 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 patience. And then that's it. Now y'all saying y'all both on one tone. Y'all both on one tone by saying one word, patience. So now that person that you wasn't in accord, you say, really, I'm not vibing with you. I'm telling you how to vibrate with that person. Very easy. You just find a word that y'all like together. And then when y'all find a word that y'all like together, you just say it together until y'all words ain't clashing. Until y'all sound the same. Say patience. Patience. And that's it. And then I might utilize Yasaboru. That's a hot joint for an ancient name, meaning the patient one, El Saboru. So, that's what I want y'all to start trying to incorporate as music as a form of healing too, because we always utilize tones in a way to connect with our ancestors, in a way to connect with our people. All right, and music is an essential core key to open up not only the left or the right side of your brain, but it utilizes left brain activity, because the left brain is utilizing the right brain to like a joystick. Basically, the left brain is the joystick and it's controlling the right side to project these type of creative thoughts of astral projecting, these type of thoughts of healing. That's why I told people, I said, man, I'm about to start incorporating certain exercises that everybody got to do. If you are enrolled in an online university, which is the UOM, the University of Messiahs, we have certain exercises that people should be doing daily. And I'm going to tell you one daily exercise that you should be doing. I'm going to give y'all 4 daily exercises that everybody should do. Everybody that's a part of the movement. From now on, you can run this video back 100,000 times. I'm going to tell you 4 basic things that everybody should be doing. All right. And then we'll move on from there. Everybody should have a diary first. You should have a diary or a journal. You should have a living journal. Now, you're going to say, Lamel, I can't carry a diary around. You know that is an excuse. Don't give me no excuse for anything. You great. I need the gospel according to Jamila. I need the gospel according to Meta World Peace, Moselle, Brother Moselle. I need the gospel according to whoever's in here that thinks they or feels they important. I need the gospel according to them. All right. Now, you say, really, I can't carry around a journal, Lamel. It ain't back in the day with the black and white journal. Okay, well, why don't you just email yourself online? Why don't you email yourself every day when you're going through certain things? And you're the only one that have access to the email, right? So now you have a living journal and document certain things that happen in your life. And the main thing that happens in your life I want you to document is numbers. All right. So now when you start doing things like this, you can come to me and say, Lamel, I done seen such and such number, such on this date. I seen such and such number on this date back in this. And you start seeing different cycles of yourself. And you start wondering why, and you start knowing why. Hopefully, I've really inspired a couple people to do that, because you better do it. Because I need the gospel according to whoever's in here, if you're important. If not, let yourself fade away, because nobody really cares about you but you anyway. Real talk. So you can fade away with the myths and don't leave nothing for generations to know. And you'll unlock that box to somebody that needs to know that box, that have that, because you are important. Now, you might need that also in the future to download yourself. I'm going to tell you, just to know who you are in the future, because you know they cloning you. You know they having ways to move your memory and your consciousness into another body of thought, whereas though it's stored. You already know they working on developing ways to do that. All right, so let's move forward. So keep a diary of yourself and who you are, if you are important. Another thing I tell you with keeping a diary is opening a trust up. And you should have a trust, more or less, I'd say a last will and testimonial trust. This is my notion on that. All right, you should have a last will and testimonial trust that's in connection with your journal, your dream journal, and also your living journal, your 2 journals. All right, and that's connected with your trust. You should have an EIN number with that, with your trust. Okay, and you should have a caretaker for it. You should have 2 trustees as caretakers for your trust that's associated with your living journal and your dream journal. All right, so that'll make sure you're important, and then I want you to give all your body parts over to your trust. I'm dead serious. You might say, really? Yeah. Give all your body parts over to your trust, for real, and let your and constantly send different genetic material to your trust, and let your trust be the caretaker of your genetic material, so you'll always know who you are in the future. Because if they taking your blood, they asking you for blood all the time. If not, they'll shoot somebody in the corner and then get blood from somebody in the corner. They asking for blood. For real. They grabbing up kids. You say, really? If you think about it, they used to have milk cartons with kids on the milk carton. Now they don't even have the milk cartons with the milk carton. Now the milk cartons are missing. And the kids missing. So we can't even find neither one of them. All right, so I just want you to know that they kidnapping people. It's a time where they kidnapping people for organs, and you important. O negative people important. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people that have this rare blood types, you very important if you don't know that by now. So you should have a living journal. Come back to me on that if you important. If not, keep on fading away, because nobody won't remember you. All right, real talk. They training your children to forget us. They train. Come on, man. The best of us, they training our children to forget us. All right? They brainwashing our children to forget the love. You know what I'm saying? They brainwashing us to forget the love. I told people every time when y'all get off of here, it's going to be somebody that shines. The men in black are going to come through and shine and hit y'all ass with the white light. And they're going to say, really? They're going to say, and you can put on the glasses just like their ass and just be protected in a certain sort of way by protecting your eyes, which are the doorways to your soul. But the men in black are going to come through and they're going to shine that light on you and say, bow, and say, yo, forget about the love that you got for your brother, or forget about everything Lamel done said to you. All right? Because that's how real serious it is. I'm dead serious. Say, yeah. Right after we get off of here, some really literally speaking, but it's something that's going to come through that shines a white light of forgetfulness. So I want you to remember to keep a living journal and keep a dream journal, and also, in essence, to the designation point of what we got going on. You know, I'm gonna say this, as far as your living journal and your and creating your trust and all that. Yo, man, yeah, you gotta have patience. You gotta have patience, and you gotta know what you're doing, of course. But let me tell you something, y'all. You're not gonna know everything. Everybody here is not meant to know everything. You might say, Lamel, you kind of smart. It's fly like that. But I'm only here to know what I'm supposed to know. Just like you here to know what you supposed to know. All right? Everybody's here to know what they supposed to know. All right? So now that you got a living journal, now that you working on building a trust, like this car, this van is in a trust. It's not in my name. It's in Lazarus Lamel, which is actually a living trust that I created. But the last will and testimonial trust is connected with Lazarus Lamel. All right. So another thing that I want y'all to do, besides the fact of having a living journal, is start to exercise certain principles that are associated with the codex. You'll say, what is that, Lamel? Yeah, everybody here should be writing in the codex. Writing in the codex. Because, listen, words are spells. You spell words, right? You say, man, you using phonetics. You use some sort of thing that sounds like that, and then you associating it with that. No, I'm not. Because this is the reason why. Because if you look at, no matter how figuratively speaking you can say reality is, if people are thinking a certain sort of way, it is what it is. So I'm not just using phonetics and saying it's like that. All right, I'm telling you what is projected in the reality of what we associated with life. That's just how it is. People just seeing and they picking up and they resonating this thought like that. All right. So, yeah, and then if you think about it, as far as doing these exercises, writing in the codex, do you know what the codex is? Do you know all the body parts of the Messiah? You say, really? That's some old, more or less, that's religious, Lamel. I already told you that the Messiah is not a religious word. Now, you would say, go back and go, and then look up the, word of it. But like I said, it still goes back to you say ancient Egypt and say it's a crocodile oil, as Mesed, a crocodile oil that they used to anoint people with, and then you'll say it also means to wipe away, and then use all sorts of etymology to connect up with it. But I'm gonna tell you what it is in these days and times, all right, for what we projecting. Yo, what's up? I'm gonna tell you what it is. What you say? Shout out to my brother.
What up, what up? We should be good.
Peace to the family. All right, look, everybody needs to start writing in the codex, man. Let me tell you something. They spell words, man. That's how they put y'all underneath the spell anyway, by the language that we're consumed in. Now, think about this. I'm gonna tell y'all, when we go study different languages like let's say Medu Neter or certain things like that, or let's say just even Spanish in general. No, let's just say Medu Neter. I'm gonna say the hieroglyphics. I'm gonna go back to the hieroglyphics. Like, let's say people, y'all study Medu Neter and stuff like that. Now it's a lot of things that we understand in the Medu Neter in reference to what it means and stuff like that, but we wasn't there in that day and time. So now when we read in the language and we transliterating it into English, we're not thinking about it from the mind of ancient Tamarian or Tamarian or ancient someone that was from Kemet. You know what I'm saying? In ancient times, we're not thinking about it like that. We're thinking about it from a person that's from an English time, interpreting something from there. All right. So what we're projecting is English, even though we might take a word like let's say a word like Ray or a word like Ra. We thinking about it from an English point, and we're not thinking about it from the standpoint of what they was living in, because we wasn't living in a time that they was living in. Now, it's certain portions of our brain that are opened up that's not open, that wasn't open in those days and times. You might say, how is that, Lamel? Got you. Listen, think about this. Let's say certain inventions today, like a car, or a game. Let's say a game, for instance, like Modern Warfare, or a game like Modern Warfare, right? Or Call of Duty. They didn't have no daggone PlayStation back in the day where people were sitting back on the internet and on social media and doing stuff like that. They didn't have that. So a certain portion of their brain was not open, and it wasn't functioning the way ours is open and functioning. That's why a certain portion of our brain is not opening and functioning the way theirs was opening and functioning. So I want y'all to kind of think about it like that, because the mind takes creative pathways in order to designate creative thought. So now, if you say, really? Yeah, think about it like this. For instance, like if you take it back in the day, they didn't have social media back in consciousness, back in the 80s and stuff like that. Think about how hard it was, more or less, to move around without Google Maps and stuff like that. Now, you don't utilize a real map, so a certain portion of your brain is closed off. You want to use Google Maps, so a certain portion of your brain is closed off. When a certain portion of your brain, or like the older folks back in the day, or people that was used to that type of thing, whereas though they picking up maps and really looking at the terrain and start saying, oh, we can go here, this is the shorter route, and let's do this, and let's move here, and looking at stuff and always having a map in the car. What happened to that? So a different portion of your brain is closed if you're not utilizing it. Like I told you, I said how the body works is literally if you don't move it, you lose it. So if you think about you lost certain routes in your mind, they by giving y'all GPS, by not tapping into the God PS in you, think about it. You probably lost certain routes in your mind to heal yourself. Because literally speaking, when you travel, I'm gonna tell y'all something what's so deep about when you travel, yo. What's so deep about for anybody that travel like I travel, I'm gonna tell you what's so deep about when you travel. You can always remember the moment that you was in when you was traveling in that direction. Let's say you go to a certain place that you never been before, but then you return back to that place. But it's a certain era where you were just going back to that place. So you don't go back to that place for years to come. So by the time you go back to that place, yo, you tap into different parts in your mind. You go into routes in your mind. Think about it like this. For instance, let's say you haven't been to San Francisco in a long time, right? And you grew up in San Francisco, but you live in Montana somewhere. Now, Montana is different than San Francisco. It has a different type of commute. So you say, man, but when you was in San Francisco, that's when you was young. So now, when you older, you decide to go back there just to pay a visit. It's certain things that just start to erupt in your mind. Certain like what they call deja vu, or certain things start to go in your mind. Be like, oh, I remember when I was here. Oh, I remember when I was there. But what's happening to you is something else. It's routes or dendrites that's re-erupting, that's refiring. And the dendrites always look like trees. And the trees represent the ancient ones. They're refiring in your mind. So now you're taking direct routes in order to heal yourself. Because it's certain things that are hidden in your youth that needs to be more or less, I would say, really need to be taken care of. So you can take care of the diseases that you have. Really, it's like more or less like a a psychic block. It's like a psychic block. All right, because let's say, like for instance, every phobia has a designated sickness connected to it. For instance, AIDS. AIDS is really hatred. You say, really? AIDS is really Hades or hatreds. AIDS is hatred. It was a form of hatred. It was a designation of hatred. It was a way to really kill people off with hatred. All right, AIDS is a form of hatred. So it's like a mental condition. It also has a sickness that's associated with far as the mental response of it, or the inceptional thought of it. So I want y'all to think about certain diseases. Go back to certain diseases and you'll look at it and you'll see that it's just every disease has a mental reflection to it. That's not saying that if you have a disease, you got something going on in your mind like that. But it might be something that's going on in your mind that needs to be healed. It might be something a place that you have to go back to in order to fix, so you'll be healed and so you can heal yourself. I'm gonna say this. This is the way I feel about it. With water, you can heal everything. With water, you can heal everything. That's how I feel. With water, you can heal everything. Now, you might say, really, Lamel, how is that? This is the reason why I feel water can heal everything. Okay, now, a lot of us, we don't drink water as much as we say we do. But you got to realize what water is. Water represents the pool of reality that we living in, because it's intentional. It's like throwing a rock in a pond, and it's a wave of thought that comes forth in an intentional reality of what you living in. So if you really want to be sick, the universe says, oh, you want to be sick? I got you. You want to be sick? Got you. Whatever you want to be, the universe say, I got you. Because you're not thinking about it like that. It's all intentional. You ever say, I'm sick, I'm sick, I'm sick. And the moment you say, I'm feeling better, I'm feeling better, I'm better, I'm better, I'm better. You better? It's all cognitive in a sense because you enforcing it through your mind. Everything. Everything. You ever say, man, I'm going to go get that such and such today. I'm going to go get that weed today. I'm going to go get that blunt today. I'm going to go get this. It's a product of your mind. All right? It's certain things that you're doing. It's all products of your mind. It's what you want to do. And don't blame it on anybody else, period. It's a pool of reality that you're living in. That's why you walk with your hands swaying, because you swimming. You really truly swimming in a pool of reality. And I want you to think about it like that. So now I got a trick. I got a trick for y'all. Y'all want me to show y'all a trick? I'm going to show y'all a real trick. Psychic self-defense won't do. Won't do. I'm going to show y'all psychic self-defense. All right. Since y'all on here, I'm going to give y'all a treat. All right. And I'm going to give y'all a real trick as in psychic self-defense, because that's what I teach besides, or I share besides, more or less spiritual and universal thought. I'm going to tell y'all what this psychic self-defense is all about. Easy. Psychic self-defense 101. All right, I'm going to give y'all a couple rules of psychic self-defense. Y'all should write these down if y'all really want to take these things serious. Or write it down in your mind and make sure you don't forget it. I'm dead serious if you really want this. Look, psychic self-defense 101. I'm going to give y'all a rule. First of all, you never let nobody, never let nobody tell you you can't do anything. That's one thing. First psychic self-defense rule. All right? They can't tell you anything. I want you to think big. That's another psychic self-defense rule in connection with that. Don't let nobody tell you can't do anything. The moment they try to tell you you can't do that, in reference to, you know what I'm talking about. Now let's think realistically in the perspective of where I'm coming from. Don't let nobody tell you you can't do certain things. That's a psychic self-defense. All right? Don't let nobody tell you you ugly. That's another psychic self-defense. I don't care if your shape up ain't looking right. You spend all day long, all weekend with the family, and your shape up ain't right, and you gotta go live because you was wearing the same thing you was wearing yesterday, and you gotta go live because you try and check in with the people. Don't let nobody tell you you ain't pretty. Don't let nobody tell you you ain't handsome or you don't look good. I want you to feel good about yourself in every and any manner, even if you don't have a damn dime in your pocket. You can have, you can spend all your money on your family and then only have shit like a couple dollars to your name, like $2 to your name, and some little bit of gas in your car. But you know what? You did what you had to do. You had fun with your family, and you had made it happen. All right? And you don't have no money, but you had some good times with your family. Don't let nobody say you ain't shit. I'm dead serious, because you didn't got your peace. You didn't have your peace. That little moment of peace, that little moment of joy with your family. That's your heaven on earth. That's one thing I realized. I realized that, man. I look at my kids. Y'all look at my children, man. I'm gonna tell y'all this. I'm gonna just go off from certain thing with the psychic self-defense, and I'm gonna tell you something that I'm proud of. I'm proud of my son. He became a Marine last week. He became a Marine, man. My son became a Marine. My son became a Marine. So he kicked their ass. All right, my son comes home next week. I'm going to take him out for breakfast. All right, but he made me proud. He made me proud, man. He really made me proud, because you know what? And y'all gonna say, man, forget him going to the military. Forget what you talk about. I needed one to infiltrate. I needed one of my sons to infiltrate. You can say whatever you want to say. I needed one of my sons to infiltrate. Not my daughter, but I needed one of my sons that was brave enough to do it. And that wasn't a punk. And my son really made me proud. My son made me proud as becoming a Marine. All right? So now he comes home next week, and I really want to just hug him, man. I really want to hug my son because I'm so proud of him. All right. And then another one of my sons, my son Aquemini, man, he's very good at basketball. He's so dedicated. He's working a job and going to school. So proud of him. So proud of him. He's working a job and going to school. Think about it. Think about it like that. Like, yeah, he's working and going to school. And he stay like that. Going to basketball practice, staying focused. All right? Then I got, and drug-free. Drug-free. Like, man, Dad, I'm not even trying to touch nothing like that. All right? And then I got another one of my sons. He got his own studio. He saved up money. He's only 16 years old. He saved up money to get his own studio. Like, hustling. Really hustling. Like, not hustling crack, but hustling music. Think about it like that. My son that I showed you a picture of, my son Naeem, yo, he hustled his own money. He spent about $1,300, no, about almost $1,400 on the studio. As far as dealing with his mic cost like $500. You know what I'm saying? Like, he saved up money, hustling, bustling. I said, man, this boy is the bomb. I love you. I hug him every time. And he's just a sponge. That was my heaven on earth, y'all. Yo, listen to this. When your children are doing what you want them to do or completing the task of what you want them to do, that's your heaven on earth, y'all. That's real. I want y'all to look at that, too, as a psychic self-defense, too. Think about your children, man. When they just doing the little things, just observe them and appreciate them. When they doing what they... Yo, man, you gotta hit me, dog. When you doing what you want to do, when they doing what you want them to do, I want you to, that's your heaven on earth. Yo, I'm telling you, my son really made me proud of him. Not the fact, look, and then I had to ghost ride the whip when I was teaching my son. Think about this. Like, y'all know I travel a lot, and I got a lot of children. I'm going to tell you, I got 12 children. Y'all going to say, really? Yeah. I got 12 children that came from my loins. And I got really 13 children that I claim. That's mine, in essence. But I'm going to tell you, and I got love. Each one of them, I got to show them a different type of love. All right? But my son Naeem, I'm going to tell you why he made me so proud. Because I had to ghost ride the whip when I was teaching him. Like, I had to teach him from afar off. Like, he had to learn from me. Like, well, what would my dad do? Well, what would my dad want me to do? Type of situation. He had to figure out his life like that. And then he was like, boom. Like, Aquemini did the same situation like that too. Like, I always tell my kids this. They can't get shit from me unless they work for it. I'm going to tell y'all real talk. I don't give no child support. None of that. My kids, this is how I felt. You know, I was there for all of them to get old enough to the point that they know me and that they know something. So now we're getting 10 and better. 10, 12 and better. Now, I'm like, y'all got to earn what y'all want from me. All right, this is how I deal with all my kids. All right, so now as they earning stuff from me, they learn certain shit. I give them chores or I give them certain things. I've always been like this for years, where I give them little shit to do, and they don't like it. And they be pissed off, and they be wondering why I don't give them certain things unless they do it. Now, my son, Quimini, he learned that. He bought his first pair of Carmelo Anthony's. He bought those at the age of 9 years old. Think about that, my son, Aquemini. He bought his first pair of sneakers, his own pair of sneakers. He spent like $170 on his sneakers. Now you say, how the hell did he get the money? Because he was selling my music CDs. By then, at that time, I had my own album out. So, you know, I used to just make a lot of money from my CDs. I'm telling you. So my son, you know what I did? I say, yo, you can just make whatever you want from it. That's you. Go ahead. Guess what he did? Went out and made like $200 something one day and bought some sneakers. I said, go ahead. He's 9 years old though. Go ahead. But that was a mentality that took to him, because think about it. He's 17 years old now, right? And look, he been working. He been working for the last 2 years. All right? So that's been installed in him. All right. And then all the other children look at it like that. All of my children work. All of them grind. From my oldest, which is 22, to my youngest, Seti, he's just crazy. But that's just another thing I just wanted to share with y'all as far as being a parent, what I'm proud of, and that's my heaven on earth. That's my heaven on earth, seeing my children doing what I really want them to do in their own way. Don't put your finger on your children like trying to get them to do it your way. Get them to do it their own way in all due respects. But try to find out a way to bridge the gap with your children, y'all. I'm going to tell you. Try to find out. And that's what I'm working on myself. You know, I'm not like, their generation is weird to me. Just like we were weird to the old folks. We were so weird to the old folks. Their generation is weird to us. All right. So I really want y'all to just figure out a way, more or less, to get them involved. Get them involved. Okay. And yeah, that's it. Yo, start writing in the codex. So get the children to write in the codex. You write in the codex. Write in the language, man. That's you. That's you. You're going to see, yo, the codex is so hot about the codex. You can write with two hands at the same time. I write the codex with two hands at the same time. I'm going to show y'all. All right. And then not only that, it helps you associate numbers in a different way. You should be looking at numbers as geometrical shapes and images. You should be looking at numbers like that. You shouldn't be looking at numbers in the contents of the way we look at them. All right? We should be looking at them as geometrical shapes, more or less, to open up dimensions of our mind. All right? So what else I want to say before I get off? I love y'all, man. I really love y'all, and this was important. This was an important build in reference to what this is about. Like I said, I'm not here to argue with anybody dealing with history. I'm not. You can go all into history. I deal with the numbers because I feel as though men and women lie and numbers don't lie. All right. But, you know, in dealing with psychic self-defense, like I said, don't let nobody tell you can't do nothing. But another thing is, you know, write your diary down. Keep control of your cycles. Remember your cycles. Remember the numbers that come up in your cycles by having a living journal, your dream journal, and your living journal. Have two journals. All right. I talked about that as a form of psychic self-defense also, as we should be doing. All right. And then, you know, like I said, recognizing heaven on earth. Stop thinking that, you know, heaven is so far away. Heaven is right there, man. Heaven is right there in appreciation of what you have, man. And I want you to start looking at it like that. And you start looking at it like that, it ain't going to be a problem with you having true success and happiness. And that's not saying being humble enough to give up in your pursuit of something more. It's saying continue to be great because it's levels to this. All right. Anything else? Just let me know, man. I'm going live later again. Today's the moon day. All right. And we just going to connect up. Also, it's I believe it's 6/7/18 in the codex. And you know, happy birthday to Ruth. Thank you, Ruth. Thank you for everything you have done for me. I love you so much. I really appreciate you. Definitely, you know, thank you for you know, having my son, taking care of my son. She probably not watching this video. She probably ain't going to watch it. But I just want to say it for the record. I really appreciate her. You know what I'm saying? And not saying it is what it is, but, you know, I just appreciate her, man. And I appreciate a lot of other people that are in my life that really make something happen. Make, you know, for whatever it's worth. Because through the thick and the thin, we gotta support one another. That's it. We got to support one another. And, you know, I feel as though another thing is I'm not here for everybody on the planet, y'all. I'm going to tell y'all, I'm only here for a certain few, all right, that are connecting with this mainframe thought, this the way that this signal is broadcasting. That's all I'm here for. All right, and just let y'all know. Now it's levels to this. Now it's going to come a time that it's going to be millions of people that are going to be connected with this. Because why? This is for the future. This is for the now, but this is for the future. We are the ancient artifacts that they're going to uncover 2,000 years from now and better and beyond. Because of what this information is leading to. It's a pure mathematical type of information. It's mathematics. All right, it's vibratory. It's so much, man, that I can just express when it comes to this codex. So be in your books heavy. Also, be there at the Rise of Atlantis. Now, some people were asking me, well, what's the address to the Rise of Atlantis? Now, that is it's a private location. I'm not letting the public know what the location is. Now, also, if you want also, my fault. I would say get in contact with Sister Jasmine, all right, which is our president, Sister Shamel. She who embodies the spirit of melanin. I'm gonna tell you this: the location is private. All right, I'll disclose the location. Because I'm gonna tell you the reason why. Because I'm only expecting 30 people to come to the event. I don't want a lot of people to come. I only want like 30, 40 people. Last time I had a lot of people come out to the event, it really became kind of like whatever. And I wanted to be more or less organized. So I only want probably like 30, 40 people to come out at the most, including the children. That's all I want. So we can do the water baptisms, the fire baptisms, the coming into the manhood, the coming to the womanhood ceremony. We can do all those things in order. And everybody can just be connected with that realm of thought. But it's going to be at a private location. It's going to be at a house. I'm telling y'all, it's going to be at a house that has a jacuzzi that's connected with it, that we're going to be doing the water baptisms. It has a certain other place that we're going to be doing the fire baptisms. It's a house. I'm just letting y'all know. It's a big house. All right, and that's where I'm be doing it at. And I'm only going to be looking forward to 30, 40 people coming for the Rise of Atlantis. But if you're interested in coming, let me know. Either inbox me, but I would prefer that you get in contact with Sister Jasmine Thompson. But if you can't get in contact with her, contact me, and we'll move forward from there. All right, it's important. It's, in my opinion, it's important for people to be there at the Rise of Atlantis, because we're all growing. I'm also going to have a special guest come in, which is Brother Blue Pill. And I'm thinking about, I was working on Brother Blue Hunters coming through too. Blue Hunters, y'all already know he sings that song Lost Souls. He's a very good artist. He's a part of the family. But I'm working on Brother Blue Pill. He said he would come. He's located in Atlanta. All right. So I would like if Brother Blue Pill would come. That would be really appreciative. I'm going to call him up and make sure he come. And I'm going to cover any cost that he needs for him to come. All right. He's a special guest in honor. Okay. So, yeah. That's it. I love y'all. 747 24/7, 361 degrees. I'm going to be broadcasting later on tonight. I'm coming back at ya. I'm coming back at y'all, man. I just wanted to let y'all know I made it safe back to New York. Me and the family. I got to spend time with the family. I got to see my uncle. He was in the hospital. I got to see my children. I got to spend some real quality time, really to re-up my mind, y'all. I needed that, because I feel as though for what I'm doing this for happiness, but also I'm doing this for a designation for our family as a unit, as a whole, man. And I definitely want to make sure my family is situated. My mom, I got to take her food shopping, so she's cool. And yeah, that's it, man. We cool, man. I love y'all, man. I needed that. I need y'all, man. Don't think I don't need y'all. I really need y'all, man, for what it's worth. All right? We need each other. So let's move forward in the form of progress, which is building. All right? Shout out to my 515s, my 151s who know the real love is magic. And shout out to my 616s, my 161s, get out the lion's den. My 717s, you already know. God's Kingdom, we was there at the 717 yesterday. That was a healthy build. I did that. I built on the 11 and the 17. I knocked that out. And shout out to my 181s. All right, my 181s. Ruth, shout out to you. Happy birthday. She's a 181 straight up. Shout out. All right. Shout out to my my 919s, my 191s that literally know that the only way you can get out of the matrix is you have to be called. All right, you have to be called. That's the only way you'll get out of the matrix. Okay, but everybody literally has a purpose. Okay, so that's the 911 you calling. Everything that flows between the 1 and the 9. So peace, y'all. I love y'all.